Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy High Five Vega. This is Reverse Polarity. It's Thursday. You know what time it is. But I'm joined by the man who rarely sleeps. He's going to be your Sherpa of car audio for 2022. And it's the guy who gets to wear shorts year round. It's Dean Batt from 5 Star Car Stereo. What's up, Dean?
Well, I got the last name. Thank God. Wow.
Yeah. We're totally official. This is new year, new us. Everything's official now. It's a very serious cardio show. It's been quoted before.
It has been quoted. I've heard it
Yeah.
been quoted. I think I may have quoted it. No. No, everything's good. Getting back into this week was the first week fully back. We did the Monday show, which I don't think we'll ever take 3 weeks off again because Monday was a row. So Monday we come back, we have a new rig, new TV setup, new everything, and it sucked. It went terrible. I hated it, and it's like you guys don't understand like how picky I am when it comes to the show. Like, Hi-Fi and I have talked about it and off the air and whatnot, but I'm really particular because I want you guys to have a good show. I want you guys to have a good time. I want it to be like, and when it isn't, it just throws me off something fierce. And yeah, we came back and it was like Monday was brutal. Oh my God. When we were done, it was just like, give me a hammer. I want to break all this shit.
I didn't catch that show. Did we see the disappointment live?
There was a couple moments where I was like, I just don't like this. It's like, this is so bad. So bad. Yeah. But hey, it's part of it is the entertainment side of things. So we know it's not always going to be perfect, but coming back that first day, it's like we got the big announcement. The IRTA2 is out and ready and shipping, and it's like our first week back and
Or that wow,
yeah. And then like we went to do our audio control ad and Fernando didn't have the website loaded on his computer because he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. It was like, oh God. And then I, for the life of me, couldn't remember. It went into the void of my brain just now, the name of their line driver that they have, the whatever the hell it is. It's awesome.
Yeah. Was it their Overdrive?
Yeah. No, it's got a cooler name than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, fellas? All is well.
Yeah. What's
up, Mr. Scott?
Yeah. So 3 weeks off broke you guys.
3 weeks off broke us big time. Coming back this week, it was like, oh my gosh, just trying to line everything back up, and it just. Because I've been going to bed at kind of like a reasonable hour for, during the holidays and, so it was funny because like Tuesday night, this is the night I have to sit down and do a hardcore edit for Wednesday. Yeah. And the girls, they're used to talking to me now. And it was like, please stop talking to me. I have to get to work. It was like 11 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, guys, could you go to bed or just do something that doesn't involve talking to me? I love you guys, but I got like a video I got to have out in a couple hours, man.
Like, dude, you get just like the NyQuil, just a little dip of NyQuil in their little nightcap.
Oh my gosh. And it was funny too, is it was one of those like, okay. And 5 minutes later, one more thing. I'm like, dude, Steve Jobs, let it go. No more things, please. And it's like, oh God.
I know the feeling. I have Sunday blocked off for that because I do hate, like, you have something you need to do, but you also don't want to be rude to your family. And it's like, I understand this is time we could be spending together, but like, I got to get this done. And I don't know if you're like this, but once I'm editing, like, I'm in the zone, like.
Well, see, I like to pop in and out of the zone because I find if I get too into the zone, I go like this. so I was editing today's video Tuesday night, and because I got done and I was like, all right, I need to keep going. It's not 2 yet, so I need to keep going. and I'm listening to it, and I find I'm just like this, and I'm just listening to myself talk. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you can't do that. Wake up, man! You got to edit. You can't just let
Right.
I'm putting myself to sleep, just kind of like, yeah, man, this is great. You talk to me, man. Preach to me, bro. Preach to me. But anyways, that was this week. How was your week so far?
Oh man, I've been working 8 hours a day. It's amazing how fast time goes by when normally I would set something aside and like, okay, I'm going to work on this project, but I haven't had any project to work because I'm usually working overtime. And next thing I know, boom, it's time to go to bed, and I've done nothing. So I don't. Yeah, I've got to.
That was me all through the holiday.
I've got to like figure out what I'm doing with my life in this short little segment here, because I can't just not do nothing after 8 hours of work. So
that's why people drink beer.
I think so. I think so. And I'll drink some beers on the weekends. During the week though, I don't want to get in that habit.
I have creamy white stuff all over my fish.
Oh, but
I know, right? So, do we have a topic for this week?
I have a topic. I have a poll as well.
I knew you would.
So I have a poll. Let's add it here. And I figured, why not? Let's just roast ourselves, see how it's going. And I just wanted to know, what's everyone's favorite Corrado YouTube channel? Now, YouTube won't let me put 5 slots in. So obviously, me and you got to be in there.
Yeah.
And then Derek and Mark made the cut, but the rest of them I put down in the comments. And guess what? I can't believe Mark didn't get that much love. I can't believe he was in 5th place.
I can't believe how many people just love cheap amp dyno videos.
Neither can anybody in the world. Listen, people love cheap amp dynos more than they love like good amp dynos. And that's just a fact, man.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
They want to see that, like, the $100, 1500 watt amp versus you could show them the new Rockford Fosgate hotness, and they're gonna like that, but not as much as the cheapest stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I understand, but Derek can have all that.
Yeah.
Hey man.
He's been doing some home audio stuff, so we'll see what he's got going on. But I totally expected to be much far behind Corrado Fab, although it is my channel, so I've got a little bit of leeway here.
I say you got a little bit of weight in the game,
right? But these guys are not afraid to roast me. That's 100% for sure. So I fully expected. I put this up fully expecting that.
Yeah. No, I got it.
I gets quite a few shout outs in here, and I second that.
Yeah. I haven't watched him in a while. I like to do Doug like, no, that sounded bad. I like to watch Doug maybe every 3 or 4 months. I'll just kind of pop in and see what he's got going on.
Right.
That's the one nice thing about his channel. It's like, it's a vlog-ish style channel.
Exactly.
So it's like, you just it's not like us where we actually like, there's a beginning, middle, and end. There's a storyline, and then it's over and on to the next storyline. So, I mean,
yeah, you can pop. You don't have to watch every one of his videos. You can pop in, see what he's up to, see the progress, over whatever several months, see what he's going on, and it's nice. Although I didn't see one Steve Mead like that. I almost put Steve Mead up there, but I was like, no, he's just gonna blow us all out of the water. So I didn't want to wait it.
You want to skew the poll?
Yes. Listen, I have to put my finger on the scale a little bit. So Steve Mead didn't make the main poll cut, and I was like, we'll definitely see him in the comments.
I talked to him the other day. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. He's a trip, man.
He's stuck in his house for a few weeks or a few days. Anyways, that seemed crazy.
Yeah, no, he's there's his online persona, which is great, and it's not like it's that far from it. But dude, he's a trip, man. I love that guy. Him and Fernando became pretty good friends,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty funny. He's a great guy. I always have a good conversation with him.
I'd love to be in his little shop of tools, man. Like, imagine the things I could make with all that.
Uh, you just
Pop
need a
it.
laptop. I mean,
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day,
And
it's like,
listen, and a laser and a CNC.
no, what I'm saying is, you walk into the shop, you look at all the cool tools, and you go, "Can we go someplace quiet with a laptop so I can just start
Oh,
designing shit?"
exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Like, let me at it. Let's see what I can do.
Yeah. I
So
was
the
like,
top.
yep.
Listen, I had a topic for today,
Okay.
and it's achieving your car audio goals in 2022. I figured maybe I could prod you for a few tips
Okay.
that people could take. But before we get to that, do you have any? I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but do you have any goals? Do you ever set goals for yourself for the
Yeah.
year? Do
Yeah.
you have any of them? I have a few.
Yeah, I have one this year.
What's the goal? Sleep more?
No, actually sleep less. So, all right, I just finished. Sorry, had to finish my rabbit food. Every year I try to run 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Last year I didn't. Last year I ended up like 680 because I was having a rough patch and I just wasn't feeling it. So I ran a lot every day, but I just wasn't running distance because
Right.
it was just in a bad place and it just wasn't working the way it was supposed to. And it's not like I didn't want to run. I just wasn't feeling it. So I let last year kind of slip. But this year I'm turning 50 and I've always wanted to run a straight 1,200 miles, 100 miles a month, 1,200 miles.
Right.
So that's my goal for this year is to finally run the 1,200. I've gotten close. I've gotten close to like 1,100, and so I've teetered around it. I've just never gone straight to the 1,200 or over. So that's my mission this year is to get to 1,200 miles and do whatever it takes to get there. So I told the girls, and they're like, Sue, oh, you're so stupid. And it's like, why am I stupid?
How many how many miles do you think you get out of a pair of running shoes?
Actually, so you buy 3 pairs of shoes at a time.
Right.
And you rotate every day. So like I have 3 pairs of shoes, and so on Monday is 1 pair, Tuesday is 1 pair, and then on Wednesday it's a different color, so I know that it's Wednesday. And then it starts over Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, skip Friday. Friday's family day. So Saturday, sometimes Sunday, just depends how the week goes. And then back to Monday. But it just depends. Like this year I'll probably go through 2 sets this year. So two full. So a set is 6. So I'll probably go through 2 sets.
So like 200 miles basically.
No, probably like 3 or 4 per set.
What wears out the first? Does your toe start coming through the top, or is it the soles?
It's the soles. The soles start to
soles.
wear out just because you're running on concrete, so it's like running on sandpaper.
Yeah.
And if you start to drag your foot, which inevitably is going to happen the longer you run. So Mondays are great. Tuesdays are good. Wednesdays, it's okay. Come today, it's like, okay, I need a break. That's the other nice thing, take Friday off. But so what happens is depending on how you stand in the shoe, that it'll look like you took it right to a sander and just took like a, and you're just like, how the hell does that happen? So at that point, what I do is I save all my old shoes, and when I travel, I'll take a pair of my old shoes with me. I'll run with those where I'm at, and then I'll throw them away. Yeah. That way I have room in my suitcase for other shit. Pro tip.
Pro travel tip from when we get to travel again.
We will next month. Yeah. The other pro travel tip, if you're going to something like a SEMA or Knowledge Fest or Master Tech Expo from Mobile Solutions or anything like that, where you're going to be walking like 2 or 3 days in a row, always bring a change of shoes. So if you're going to be on your feet for more than 4 or 5 hours that day, that next day, your feet are going to kill you if you keep the same pair of shoes. So don't ever wear the same pair of shoes 2 days in a row. What happens is the sole will collapse, and on that second day, you're going to be dead. A lot of people don't know that, you know, and it's one of those things where you don't even notice it because it's not visual. Like you can't see that the inside is collapsed, but it needs time to rebound back up.
Do you have specific shoes you wear? Because I figure I'm kind of picky how my sneakers fit anyway. So
yeah, they're all those ugly 5-toe things that everyone just goes, "Oh my god, I can't believe you wear those."
Well, I didn't know you. I thought you run in running shoes.
Oh, running shoes I run in Brooks. Right now,
okay.
I switched to Brooks last year. I was running in a thing called Newtons, but I changed, which were cool, and I ran in those for years. But I was ready for a change. You know, it was starting to feel fatiguing. You know, because as you get older, things start to move and stuff like that. I mean, I know I'm not Bobby's age, but you know, hey,
burn, Bobby.
But yeah, so you gotta move around. You know, you gotta find shoes that are comfortable, especially when you're pounding the pavement, as it were.
1,200 miles a year.
God willing.
Yeah, that's gonna be intense, man.
Or a body willing. So
I probably haven't run 1,200 miles my whole life.
Yeah, it's funny, you know. You know, when I started taking it serious, it was like, because you know, I always used an app, and then it was like, you know, miles run till this point, you know, like 750 miles ran this year, 1,000. It was like, oh yeah, I substantially beat the shit out of my previous record. Who's the man? Yeah, whatever.
Let's go for 15.
No.
So is that the only goal for this year then?
Realistically, I try not to go crazy with stuff like that because I'm more of a kind of like to see what's going to happen and not get wrapped up in like that, because it's like I have enough stress in my life.
Right.
I don't need to
extra pressure.
I don't need to impose fake shit on my brain that, you know, it's like, oh, do better at work, you know, treat the girls better, take more time off.
Yeah.
But all that's bullshit. You know, you either do it or you don't. I mean, eat better. You know, it's like or eat worse, whatever. You know, it's like
that's my goal.
Yeah. I mean,
whatever.
You just do it or you don't do it. There's it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I hate when people go, I'm going to start on Friday.
Oh no, I hate that too.
You
like just start right now. Right. Yeah.
Right. You know, so you know, I'm a realist in the sense that, you know, you have to have realistic expectations and goals. I mean, you know, we have, you know, there's all these micro goals, like, you know, obviously, you know, when you look at like YouTube, what do we want to accomplish there? You know, we'd like to hit 200,000. It's a doable goal. I mean, we're not that far from it now. So, you know, it's a time thing. So it's not like, and I'm not going to put all my effort into like, oh my God, we got to do this. You know, we got to stare at, all right, what videos people like? Oh, let's just do 911s for the next 6 months. You know, it's like, oh, everyone, it's like, you can't, you know, you can't. Love to, but can't. So, you know, we're just excited. I mean, we finally got the IRTA2 out, which is really exciting. And we're just gonna enjoy that. I mean, the reality is we have to come up with a workflow that allows us to have people give us money, and then we ship them out in a timely fashion. So that, you know,
by we you mean Sue?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, exactly. Yes, by we I mean Sue.
Yeah. I talk interchangeably like that with Cassie. She like, we're a team. So if I say we're doing something, or me.
Yeah, I mean, she has no problem spending the money. So, you know, it's funny. She's like, I don't get a paycheck. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, Jesus. Okay, you get half if you divorce me. So what paycheck do you need?
Right. No kidding. I'm enough. Am I not enough? Well, I have a few goals. Like, what I'd like to get to my goal weight of like 240 this year. It's doable. You know, I'm 6'3", so I'm like 30 pounds away. I could do it for the end of the year, but I don't want to get too crazy, you know, because if you don't have something you want every now and again,
well, it's not even so it's not even being the too crazy thing. What you have to realize is that if you get to that point how sustainable was it to get to that point? Okay, so the
Right.
problem that most people have when they go on a diet, it's like they don't have a diet that they can sustain for the rest of their life, and that is the problem. So it's like, what did he say? Ground beef and ground chuck. Yeah, okay, I don't eat ground beef, so it doesn't matter. Veggie burgers. I don't. I like turkey burgers. I love turkey burgers. Like, I would eat a turkey burger way before ground beef, even when I ate ground beef. I just like the taste. It tastes better to me. The Incredible burgers. I don't know, man. I eat that and I'm like, can I get a turkey burger? So it's like that. And pizza. I like pizza. That was my problem. I had pizza for lunch today, which, I mean, granted, it was pizza on a cracker, but it's that thin stuff. But that killed me. That's why my run was just like, I'm just gonna die.
You're gonna die, and you didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
keto.
I mean, I'm kind of doing a combo because I'm a meatitarian, but I like that's sustainable to me. But I add in some potatoes here and there. I small amounts, If I'm going with that other stuff, I just do small amounts, and I
Right.
don't eat bread, and like I don't give a shit about bread. Like I don't care. I
See,
can
I love
totally
bread.
get over that. So does Cassie. That's her. If she could just have a diet where she just ate bread,
Oh,
I think it would be perfect for her. But
probably. I think most people would be.
right, and me, I'm just kind of the opposite. Like, I like the sweet stuff. That's what usually gets me. So I've been able to wean that off, and it hadn't been as bad. But every now and again, you gotta have some
Right.
Girl Scout cookies. So
The whole box.
right, the whole box.
Yeah.
And then none for another week.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of the thing. All right. So what else you got?
So I want to do that. I would like to kind of redo my video structure on my channel.
Yeah.
I'd like to put out more high quality videos, even if it means I have to do less of them.
Right. No, that
per
makes sense.
month. And it may work, it may not work, but it's kind of an experiment thing. I just want to see, like, is this gonna work better, or the way I was doing it before, where I was trying to keep pace every single week. So that's one of them. And just kind of slowly, I've got new product ideas for hi-fi-vega.com.
Yeah.
So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, 'cause that's still in way early talks, but that's something else I want to do. That's kind of the three things. And I would love to sleep more. I think that's gonna be the hardest goal.
I was gonna say that the other ones kind of negate that one.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the wish list
I would
item.
love to sleep more too. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is really quite fun. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
hire Dean to edit videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
I don't think I could afford that. The little bit of time, the 2 seconds you have.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny too, because like now with the installer of the year happening and me not participating in it because I volunteered to be on the backside of it, and talking with these guys that are making the videos and trying to give guys pointers and just having to deal with all of this. People suck at editing. I'm going to tell you right now. God, man, it's like,
Yeah.
like I had to watch all 50 of the submissions. And I just thank God for 2x speed. Thanks, when you told me, well, just watch them on 2x speed, I was like,
Yeah.
that didn't even occur to me. I was so happy that you mentioned that, because it was like, I'm never gonna sleep.
I do that with a lot of podcasts that I really enjoy, but they're kind of lengthy, or the way their manner of speaking is not like boom, boom, boom. I'm used to YouTube videos, so everything's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And when the podcast and they have long pauses, like, yeah, we're just gonna speed this up. Let's cut this out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's rough. But I don't know. So the one, so this year, one of the other things, obviously one of our, Smash Force's goals is, of course, to do traveling and teach and get out there and just have fun and do that. That to me, it seems like, was it?
Oh, handy.
What is he saying?
He said, just call him out by name.
Oh.
Hashtag no editing skills.
Hey, man.
Oh, man.
The goal, obviously with this year, we want to have as much fun as we can, and we want to take as many people on that journey as we can. One of the things that we want to do more of is the experience videos, like just, because when we get to do fun stuff like this, a lot of people can't go, or it's private, or it's whatever,
Right.
but we want to be able to take people and show them what we're doing, and just some little glimmer of like, hey, we got to do this, and here it is, like
It's like the boring life in car audio.
The boring life in car audio, exactly.
Right.
So that we're really looking forward to putting more effort into that side of things, as opposed to just like walking around. I mean, we're still going to do all the fun stuff, like, like new products and shit like that when we're there at these things. But what we really want to do is kind of show more of the experience, and for guys that are into the industry, why the fuck aren't you going? And for people that can't go, well, unfortunately you can't go, but here you can have some little glimpse of why we're going.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of one of my favorite videos that you guys do, because you guys are really good at it. It does feel like you're there, just like with Kicker, just like with Audio Control, Rockford, and Knowledge Fest. So we get to experience. You set it up well. You guys both are good on camera, and it's like, okay, we're here. We're
And
here with you
according
guys.
to Deviant, I'm a professional talker anyway, so
I mean, you have a talk show almost every day of the week on.
I know, yeah.
Yeah,
I prefer to talk less.
right.
But it just doesn't happen.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of not my strong suit, so why fight it?
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing here if we're not talking?
Exactly.
So someone's got to be talking.
Yeah. Other goals?
Other goals.
That's
kind of the goals I had. I got a promotion at work. I got a promotion at work. So
you're head beater leader now?
Hey, I'm not gonna be doing production anymore, fellas. I'm not gonna break my back as much. I'm gonna be doing quality assurance. So
I was gonna say, you turn in the manager, they kicking you out of the union?
No. Oh, I have to be out of the union. I definitely have to get out of the union to go the quality assurance. But it's a much easier time with a little more vacation, I believe, and just a much easier day. So less mandatory overtime.
I like Scott's goal. My goal is to sell 20K in car audio in the first month this year. 200K. Sorry.
Wow.
I mean, hey,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say you can't do it. I mean, right now, it's an obtainable goal.
Yeah. People are smashing right now, man. They're killing it. If they have the product. Yeah, man. I'll snitch in a second. Hot second.
Bitches.
And I'll get the stitches. I don't care.
Oh my god.
But I figured tonight, like, what would be tips? Like, say someone is getting into car audio. What should they be thinking of first? Like, they weren't an enthusiast back in the day. They're new. So this guy's my imaginary guy. He's 25 years old. He likes music.
No, he's not. He's probably older, but yeah, okay.
Okay, but this is the new generation.
We're talking new punk ass?
Yes, new what, Zillennial? Is that what they call it?
Dude, I can't even deal with those people.
But this guy, he likes, 70s, 80s music.
So he likes his dad's music.
Like a little rap rock too, little Linkin Park.
So what is that guy gonna buy? I tell you right now what that guy is gonna buy. Straight up.
What up?
No, go ahead.
Are you thinking Scar?
No.
Nope. Okay, what's that guy gonna buy?
That guy's gonna come in. He's got $1,500 in his pocket. He thinks he's gonna be killing it with that $1,500 because he's spent hours between video gaming, looking on Amazon, and watching Derek's videos on cheap amp dynos.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, I got $1,500. I want my shit to rock. And he's gonna get a Rockford P312. And if he's lucky, maybe a new set of door speakers.
And
That's
Rockford P312 is not a bad.
No,
not a bad upgrade.
that'll be it. And if he'll spend another $1,000, then he'll get a key. 204, 402, 204, 204, and a set of components. And that'll be that guy's system. Key up front, components, P312. He gets the Haley system. He's $2,500 out the door, and that's it. That's all he's doing.
I mean, that's a pretty dope system, though. If you just stop and think about it, like that's.
Oh no, trust me. I mean, we'll do some systems, and I'll be like, oh man, we should have just done this, But we do a lot of those. That is a very common system. However, there again, you can't just sell somebody that system. You have to qualify them for that system. Not everybody wants time alignment. Not everybody wants what the key can do.
They just might want the first half of the system.
Well, they just might want the power. So, it's like, okay, well, we can give you the power. I mean, the nice thing about the key is you can turn all that stuff off. So, it's just a matter of going in there and flicking a couple of switches and turning the stuff off. But, and there again, I've only had one guy that has been an issue with the kicker key. And that was just because I didn't sell it to him. Paul did. And Paul didn't qualify him he was not a kicker key person. He's deaf in one ear and can't hear out of the other. And
that's not going to work.
No. And that's not a slam on him. It's just honestly
like
70% in this year. And this year was, 20%, and you can't do time alignment for a deaf person. It's like a guy with one eye has no depth perception.
Exactly. Yeah.
Person
you could hold that in front of him. It's gonna be hard for him to grab.
Yeah. A person with one ear can't hear stereo, so you can't time align for that guy. It's just all sounds weird. Everything.
Do you guys sell many of those Alpine power packs still?
No.
Now that the key's out, did the key kind of take that spot?
Key. We didn't sell a lot of the power packs to begin with because the power pack is not really a go-to amplifier. It was great if you had an Alpine head unit, and it was kind of just like a problem solver, but it wasn't something that you could actually build a system off of. Like you'd never be like, all right, so check it out. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this Alpine power pack in your car on a set of components. Because it didn't have a high pass crossover that go up to 3200 or any of that. And so, Kicker really knocked it out of the park with that idea of like, what if we just use it to do a set of front ends, Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I wish they would have followed that through and go, well, maybe we should make a 6-channel. But they didn't because they were focused. And this is a problem with a lot of these manufacturers. They get hyper focused on one thing. And that one thing was beating the shit out of an Alpine 455U. And that was it. So it was like, they used that. They took, when I was in art class and we would have to draw things. And what the teacher would do, he'd be like, all right, I need you, scour through magazines and articles and stuff like this before, the web. And find a picture. And I want you to recreate that picture. But he said, listen. If you pick a shitty picture, it doesn't matter how good of a job you've done, you've created a shitty picture. Yeah. Okay. So he was always like, be careful. And there was a couple guys that would try to recreate shitty pictures. And he'd be like, dude, let me see the original. And you show him there. He goes, this looks identical to it. You did a great job, copying this. The problem is this picture sucked and you copied a sucky picture. So in the case of the kicker key, their product to beat was the 455U, and it's like the 455U sucked anyway, so it wasn't like they had to do a lot to beat it, but they could have, in my opinion, gone just a little bit further. But they were nervous. They're just coming off the Q class, which didn't sell really well because we all know why of that, or we don't, and that might be the problem also. But so here comes this key, and the key really didn't start selling right away. I was getting phone calls, man, I wish we could sell more of these. I'm like,
well, especially when it was the 180.4, which hardly anybody knew about. And honestly, I didn't, even though Kip had said something about the key on 12E Talk, I didn't understand what the key done until you done a video on it.
No, and we didn't understand what it was until we did the video on it either. So, it was like, And that is.
No, man, that's what everyone thinks. This is real. This is the real deal right here. I'll sell it
Yeah,
to you for a price.
he was a fake Baldy. You know, and that was the problem, is that, you know, that we got the amplifier and we had no idea what it was, how it worked, what it could do. And, you know, it was just like running one night, and I said, you know what, we got to do something with this. Let's just put it in Haley's car and see what happens. You know, it's magical. And if it is, great. And if it isn't, well, you know, we've tried, you know, and we got in there and it was like, shit, this is magical. This is really nice. And that was and then after that, you know, it just kind of slowly but surely took off, and now it's probably one of their best selling products. And
Well, they only have 3 amps right now. So
yeah. So yeah. You know, and that's the thing, and it is really, but they're selling enough of them now to where it's doing well. They wish they could sell more of the key lock, but I think the problem with the key lock, and even with the keys in general, is they really need to work on their LED structure. The one nice thing about the key 200.4 is it's got beeps, and there's no light flashing. Mm-hmm. So it's like you hit the button, it's like beep, beep, get the fuck out of the car, beep, beep, and then it does all its stuff, and it's a happy tone, and you're done.
Right.
You know, and that's it. But like when you look at like the 501, you got to really pay attention to what the hell these lights are doing. And I'm like, why didn't they use a multicolor LED? Red, it's blinking green. Green means you're gold. They used orange. It's like, come on, guys, spend a little bit more money, put some programming into this, and like have it light up green when it's good, have it light up red when it's bad. You know, I don't know why they didn't do a multicolor LED on that amplifier. And even if you like, we've done dozens of them, and every time we go to do one, it's still the same thing. I got to grab the piece of paper. And I know it's like, I got to hold the button for 3 seconds. It'll flash twice. And now it's in distortion. You know, now it's in the first mode, which is gain. You know, get the gain right. And
that's the one that's most important. It's very important to get the gain right on specifically the sub one.
Yeah, because it's the sub and the lock.
Yeah.
Because they're both digital inputs, and if you clip a digital input, it just fails every time because it doesn't know what to do with it. So it's looking for a non-clipped signal. Opening the garage door. So yeah, and then you exit out of that. Now you press and hold it for a longer period of time, and now it's going to start to flash. And now it's in what they call a logarithm mode, because that makes sense to everyone. Everyone knows what logarithms are, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's in a logarithm mode instead of just saying de-equalization mode. Like, we all know what that means, but a logarithm. That's engineering winning, you know. It's like, really, guys? Well, I don't think I need to do that. What, a logarithm mode? Oh, no, you can skip that step. That's not important at all.
Yeah, I didn't think about the lights because I haven't messed with the 501 very much, but you're right because I have a key lock, and the lights they're confusing. They could have been a lot easier.
Yeah, a lot easier. You know, and with the key lock, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can't screw it up, but you put buttons and lights in front of somebody and you tell them you have time, you're gonna have anxiety. Everyone is always gonna have anxiety. It's like, do the Q class amplifiers require an LOC for installation? No. The Q class have an LOC built into them. It will not DEQ, but it will. You can run up to 10 volts of input into the input of the amplifier.
Can't you even do that on the CXA amps?
Yes.
All the kicker amps.
All the kicker amplifiers take 10 volts of input.
And currently, I think the Rockford Fosgates do too, right?
Yes. So the cool thing. All right. So let's talk about that. Good one. All right. So all of these modern amplifiers use high level input over the RCAs, or they have a plugin. Kicker does it over the RCAs on 1 or 2 volts. And then the 10 volts of input into the amplifier. So all of these modern amplifiers use high level input over the RCAs, or they have a plug-in. Kicker does it over the RCAs on 1 or 2 volts. And then the 10 volts of input into the amplifier. So their amplifiers. Rockford switches between RCAs and plug-in depending on the amplifier.
Yeah.
So like the R2s have a plug, but what makes each one of them is a little bit different. So they use can of worms open. So how the amplifiers are turning on is they're looking for DC offset. Now, the DC offset is one of those topics that we talk about a lot because understanding how DC offset works is very important because it confuses the shit out of people because they don't really understand what it is. And DC offset has also changed. So it can be 6 volts, it can be 3 volts. Kicker did a really good job of, I can't remember the technology they have. It's on the box like everybody else. That'll look for that. And all it is it's the carrier signal that's built into the amplifier that's DC. And how you meter for it is you set your digital multimeter DC positive lead to the positive speaker and then ground to the car. And with the amp, with sound playing, you'll see that there's usually about 6 volts playing. Sometimes there's 3 volts. Most amplifiers will turn on with either one, but they're looking for it. Now, where it confuses people is they think it's like a remote turn on, whereas a remote turn on turns on and it turns off with whatever source. Most current aftermarket radios don't turn off in standby mode. So they usually put standby and off on there. And the reason why they do that is in standby mode, the remote turn on is still on because you can still do CarPlay or Android Auto or your navigation system. So some manufacturers have put power off in this, which will shut it all the way down. And then that'll turn off the remote turn on. Car manufacturers are the exact same way. There is no off. So if you hit power off on the radio, it's not powering the radio off. It might shut the screen off, but the radio's still on in the background. So think of it as like your computer. At nighttime, when you go to leave, you turn off the monitor, but you leave your computer on because, well, you know, when you come in the morning, you don't want to wait 20 minutes for that Windows piece of shit to boot back up. So it's like, and then you leave. Your car is the exact same way in that it's running Windows. Could be. It's running Windows or Android. Anyways, so there's that is happening in the background. So when you walk out to your car, if you have a wireless key fob that just unlocks the door as you approach, everything is booting up in the car. The computers are turning on, the radio's turning on, but the screen is off. Okay. But all this stuff is happening. And like a bomb in a movie, they always put like, there's always that blinking light. And it's like, so I feel like if there's going to be a bomb somewhere, I'm just constantly looking for blinking lights because you apparently can't build a bomb without a blinking light. Well, car manufacturers know this and they don't want you to think your car is going to blow up. So there's no blinky lights to tell you the car is waking up because it might be a bomb.
There's a bomb.
There's a chance.
You don't say bomb on a plane.
Yeah, you don't. No, God, no. Unless it's like the bomb diggity. So now you tie an amplifier into this, and it's tying into this DC offset circuit. And the dumb amplifier manufacturers, those idiots, put lights on their amplifiers to let us know that the amplifier is on. Really? How? Like we can't tell because there's sound coming out of it. I mean, duh. No, I'm joking.
How would that be useful ever?
Ever. As we spent 10 minutes before talking about how, So now what happens is you walk up to the car, you grab the door handle, and your amplifier is on. And you're like, what the frick? Why is my amplifier on? What the hell is going on? Oh my God, it's going to kill my battery. No, it's in idle current wake up mode like the rest of the car. So in the specs for the amplifier, most of them have an idle current, which is just on, meaning there's nothing happening. The amplifier's on, and it's like an amp, sometimes less than an amp. Okay, so the amplifier is just turned on. It's not doing anything. It's just waiting. It's like,
let's go.
So DC offset now has confused a lot of people. And then you look at things like, now going back to those amplifiers, we won't change tracks. So like on an R2 amplifier, they have a DC offset on and off switch, which is a must have. Okay. you have to have an on-off switch for the DC offset, because sometimes the DC offset just doesn't work. All right. And if you want to use the internal high level to low level adapter, meaning like I have one built in, why would I want to go buy an expensive one? As long as I have under 10 volts, I should use this one. It's going to be way better than buying that cheap $19 one that you're like, I get this one at Walmart at 2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 wires and some RCAs.
Yeah, 2 turntables and a microphone. But if your car doesn't properly use DC offset, well, it's going to screw up. And then you'll have to go to an external one because it won't want to play right. So they have a toggle switch that you can turn off. Kicker is extremely confident with like the CXA amplifiers that it'll always turn on and it'll always work because they don't put an on-off switch on it. The Key, I believe the Key 501 has an on-off switch for it. The 400, the both KX. Key amplifiers, the 400, 200, 204 has an on-off switch for it, so that's nice. So a lot of manufacturers have realized they need to start adding it. The equivalent of this is like GTO for audio control. They've always had an on-off switch for it because they know they've been doing this for years, so they know that like, yeah, this stuff doesn't always work, and well,
it's unreliable. I in my experience with the DC offset is I would rather just run the remote wire if at all possible, because it's like you'll have a time
when
where
you say it's unreliable. So here's the funny part: when you say it's unreliable, okay, you've put it in possibly 2 cars in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, we have put it literally in hundreds and hundreds of cars. Yeah. We still run a remote turn on because we're not stupid and we know there's a chance.
Yeah.
But I have never gone back and gone, oh shit, it doesn't work. And because we test for it. We test for it to make sure it's going to work. So it is the most reliable thing. It is 100%. The amount of failures to work ratio is like less than 1%. In our world.
Like, it's always for me when I'm doing it with multiple amps. I'm using like 4 amps, and it's like they turn on at different times, and it's like, no, I'm not doing this.
Well, there's external DC offset things, but no, and there again, that's why you want the on-off switch, because the on-off switch allows you to go in and turn it off and do a conventional turn on for the system. So, which is perfectly cool. Audio control is added in Signal Sense to all their new stuff. So moving forward, so like the LC1i, 2i Pro, and the Epicenter Micro will all have Signal Sense, DC offset, and regular remote turn on. And then whatever comes out from now on will have all 3 of those because they came out with a new Signal Sense circuit to use in that. And like the Rockford P300 has it built in, which is nice. It's like, nope, yep. Okay, good. We're done. But it's interesting. But the other reasons, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to make something sell better, make it installer friendly, because when the installer's like, or the shop is like, hey, these are easier to install. Let's start push the seafood. It's going bad tomorrow. That's the situation you end up in. Yeah, it's smart. It's a smart move.
Oh, speaking of installer friendly stuff, we got a box today from Metra for the.
Oh, I seen that.
Their T-Spec line. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be really nice.
I liked it as 16 gauge. I was like, dude,
all these guys.
Well, and like the 18 gauge is fine. Like, especially, I'm not doing nothing crazy, but right now, I'm running 2 Q class 502s, mids and tweets. It's overkill, but it's just the amps I could find because they're not available anywhere.
Right.
For the 4 channels. So in that case, I would like to have a minimum of 16 gauge if I was going to do that. Obviously, I think I'm running 14 gauge or something like that. So
not going to make a difference.
Yeah. Well,
not going to make a difference.
That's quite a long run.
It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference, dude.
18. I can't, dude. I just can't. My mind can't do the 18.
Well, dude, it's real simple. I mean, see how much voltage is coming out.
Right.
Literally, go to where your speaker is, put a voltmeter there, play music, put on peak hold, play some music, see how much voltage you're getting at that speaker. Okay, that'll answer that question. That'll tell you right there. Oh shit! Wow, I'm only getting like no power here. Yeah. I mean, if your tweeter can be made out of dental floss or thinner, do you really think running a 16 gauge wire to your tweeter is going to matter?
The tweeter that I'm talking about the mid, like the
There
mid where I'm
again,
actually putting some
the
power
tinsel
to it.
lead on the mid is like a 22 gauge tinsel lead, if not smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's the length. It's the length that gets you.
Yeah, I'm fine with the length. But still, you have a frequency response of between 80 and 3200, okay? And you have music that is going to be playing over that is not tone. So how much power do you actually think those speakers are seeing? You have, well, you don't now, but you have a dyno. You can literally see how much power is going to those in real time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got an O-scope too. I can just throw the O-scope on them.
Yeah, screw that. The other tool's way cooler.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it looks better on video.
It does. But you can literally see how much power is going to that speaker and go, yeah, it's getting 15 watts.
Well, see, that sounds like a very good video. But half of car audio is your eyes, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, and that's why we made the IRTA, so you can actually see what it is you're talking about.
Right. A matter of fact, I wanted you to take the last bit of the show to explain the IRTA, because I posted, and a lot of people, when they hear RTA, they think I'm using a mic, I'm tuning my system.
No, but yes.
Yes. So can you do like the elevator pitch? What's the IRTA? How will the general person use it, or the DIY guy? Justin particularly use it.
It's super simple. I mean, the reality is we can't see what is passing through the wires. So we can hear the end result, and we can put a microphone in the car and we can look at that and see, oh yes, it sounds to me like that tweeter is way too hot. Here's what it looks like using this microphone, translating that information out. So we are getting the end result of everything that has happened before. We don't know what's going on behind the door. We only know what's coming out of that tweeter. And an RTA will tell us that, but that's an acoustical RTA. So it's listening. Okay. The IRTA2 is an electrical RTA. And up until this point, in order to buy one of those, you had to spend a whole bunch of money. Like a DMRTA can do that. PAA, a Phonics PAA3, 3X, 6, an MTI Minimalizer, PAA2, which I bought. Yay, completed the set. And these are all used between $300 to $400, used up to now $900. Okay, and they're one channel. So which is important, we'll get to at the end. So, but you're gonna tap into that rear speaker because you're like, I'm gonna put subs in my car. I'm gonna tap into that rear speaker. Sometimes that'll work. However, you're guessing because you could put a mic there, and it's gonna show you what's coming out of that mid range in the back. Which there again, if that mid range is acoustically tuned to sound the way it does, you're not gonna know if there's bass there or not.
Right.
So then you're just like, it sounds like there's bass. I have my ear next to it, and it's reflecting off the back window. Yeah, that must be bass. And you have a Dodge. And guess what? You now are wrong because there's very little bass going to that back speaker. It sounds nice and full because it's in a 10 cubic foot trunk bouncing off of a back window. But in fact, the front driver is actually the subwoofer. Those are mid-range. So what an IRTA does is we can tap into that speaker, and if you have an iDevice, we didn't make it for Android, and the answer for that is simple. Apple builds their shit one way. Any Apple device is going to work the same as every other Apple device. Android doesn't do that. Right. So we'd have to buy every Android device to spec it out and figure out, okay, what's the EQ curve in this one doing? What's the EQ? Then we have to build an app for Android that's going to go in and fix all the bullshit that they're putting in on their phones. So no, that's why we didn't do it for Android, because as a product developer in dealing with it, it's like the engineer's like, oh no, we can do that, but this is what we'll have to do, and this is how much more it'll cost. I'm like, no. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So for Android guys, I apologize, but I just
buy a DMRTA.
No, because, well, you could still use this with the DMRTA because the DMRTA is a one-channel device. Okay, so anyways, so now you grab your IRTA2, you tap the 2 wires, you plug it in, you play your favorite RTA app. You know, we use the Studio 6 RTA app. That's the cool one with the red, and everyone uses it. It works really well. But there are others, free ones that work just as good. We do that one because of the contrast and looks really nice on camera. And now you play some pink noise, and it'll just show you this nice graph of what you're looking at. And you can see the roll off where there would be this side. You'll see the roll off where there is no bass happening. And then you compare it to the front, which you could run in on the second channel. So you can literally have a wire tapped in the kick and this wire tapped in the rear, have them both coming into the IRTA and go channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2, and see the graph change. If the graph doesn't change, well, then you know, all right, they're both the same. Cool, I can tap the rear speaker. But if they change, which they would, which we actually have a video showing that in a Dodge in the playlist, then you'll be like, oh, crap, I better tap this one. Otherwise, the whole reason of me putting subs in your car is going to suck because I'm not giving you the best signal going into it. Yeah. So, and why do you want to try to EQ something where if you just did it right the first time, you wouldn't have that issue? So there's that. And then now moving forward into why it's a 2-channel. Well, there's this new thing called all-pass filters that's not new. They've been using it for years. There's also time alignment. There's EQ curves. So let's say you had a set of components up front. We'll keep it simple. You had a set of components up front. You had a tweeter. You had a mid-range. And you're one of those people that even though you have a 6-channel active system, you bought a 4-channel amplifier because I'll just sum them together.
Yeah.
Great. Which day, you know, whatever. But you want to make sure that you can sum them together properly because they might not sum together. There might be filtering there that causes issues. The tweeter might be out of polarity on purpose. So when you put them together, there's a dip. You may have to flip the tweeter. So with the IRTA2, you can run the tweeter into channel 1, the mid-range into channel 2, play your pink noise electrically. So there's no speakers connected to this at all. You're literally looking at the atoms or whatever, the electrons coming over the copper wire and seeing the sound, which you can't do with a microphone. You can do with a microphone. You can see what it's hearing, but we want to see what's going on. So back to the original thing, you're like, why is that tweeter so loud? Because his mic is telling me it's so loud. Well, what if the factory radio has a boost and the treble, but you didn't know that because you couldn't see what the factory radio's tune was? Like, you know, if you look at like a GM that has a middler up in the dash, they boost the shit out of that treble because that middler sucks and it doesn't have any treble. So there's a boost there. So now you throw a set of tweeters in there that are super efficient and you're like, oh my God, these tweeters are so loud. Why? Yeah. Well, because there's a boost there, but you wouldn't know that because you haven't looked at it electrically. So with the IRTA2, you can tap those 2 wires and you can see what it looks like and go, ooh, I'm gonna need a DSP to fix that.
Yeah, because if you've done it acoustically, you could maybe like, well, it's just because maybe the speaker's just placement or, you know.
So the other nice thing, the other nice thing about this, like you said, buy a DMRTA. DMRTA is a wonderful tool. I use it every day. But you can't sum things together externally and bring them into this. So we've made it so that you can. So there's a jumper inside. You take it apart, you take the jumper, and then you can run. Even though on the top of the DMRTA, it has what looks like 2 speaker inputs, it's still not a mono input. So you can run 2 wires into that, and you can toggle the switches and sum on the RTA. You can do it on a PAA3. You can do it on minimalizers. So all these handhelds that have regular RCA inputs, we put a jumper in there so that you can get a higher voltage output because the voltage output is lowered for going into the iPhone. It's what the iPhone needs to see. So
I'm trying to think what other I know I wrote down something else.
That's okay.
So what's an all-pass filter look like on there when you see it?
So what you do is, let's say you take a left mid-range and a right mid-range, and you play them, and they look great on this side by itself, and this one looks great on this side by itself. And when you turn them on together, meaning you sum those 2 signals together, what you'll see is a subtraction. So it'll look like this, it'll look like this. You put them together, and it'll look like this. And you'll have a hole a null that'll appear. And that is where your all-pass filter is. It's not a bad thing. And what the IRTA2 does is, for one, it informs you, hey, there's an all-pass filter. And two, this is the frequency it's being played at. So, you know, as long as you know what you're going into, you at least can make the right decisions after that. They're not bad.
Yeah,
but
it's something you might have to overcome.
It's something you might have to overcome. And that was the cool thing about the key lock, is that the key lock can read the signal and negate 3 all-pass filters if you decide you don't want them in your system. So if you're looking for a ruler flat, nothing output, then the key lock will, what it does is it sees the frequency that it's playing at by doing the same thing we're doing. It compares the two, and let's say you have an all-pass filter at 250 on the driver's side. It'll match that all-pass filter on the other side. So it'll put at 250. At 200, what it's doing is at that frequency, it's doing a phase flip.
Yeah.
And so, or a polarity and phase. Jesus Christ. Flipping at 180 degrees at that frequency. So we're going to flip it at 180 degrees at this frequency. And when you have two things that are both negative, you get a positive. So then you'll look at it, and that dip will be gone. It'll look fine. So
and here it is. It's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy too. DNFtooldrawer.com/RTA2. I'll put a link in the description.
When you click on it, it gives you all the videos. So if you want to actually see what we've done, and if you're confused about RTAs and you're like, oh, that's all great, man, but I don't even know what I'm looking at on an RTA, you're in luck. Tomorrow's video, we explain the basics of what you need to look at the RTA.
There you go.
So we take you through. We take you through and show you what you're looking at, because although we all are the smartest people in the room, sometimes we don't necessarily know what we do, and we're too afraid to ask the question. So we're just trying to make videos that you don't have to ask that question. We've already asked it for you, and we've created it.
There you go. So, how to verify an all-pass filter right there.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're short. I watch them all as you put them out. We
want to keep them all very short, like under 5 minutes, because when this is a tool. So when you're using a tool, you just, how do I do this? This is how you do. Okay, cool, I'm done. I don't want to hang out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll leave a link for people that want to check it out. And now, every time someone asks me what it is, I'm cutting this little I'll cut this little section out. Like, here you go. This is what it is right here.
So I was going through the comment. All right, we're done.
We're done. That's it. I posted a link in the. So our guest, he's a truck driver, man, and they called him. They called him to the spot. So he made us watch a really bad movie, and now he's not going to be here to get roasted about it.
No shit, that movie sucked. All right, so for those of you who know what we're talking about, head over to SideJag. It'll be up in a couple minutes. We'll be on there talking about this wonderful movie of Spawn. For the rest of you, thank you so much for playing with us tonight. We'll see you again next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.